The most important ball in the offseason heading into the summer is, do you want to give us a complete countdown and run it down?
So to this point, we have had Javonte Spraggins, John Campbell Jr., Lamari Thomas, Brew McCoy, Squirrel White, and Keenan Peely. Now we get to the big stars.
Okay, so we're down to basically Nico, Pearce, and who? Who are we down to? We've got 3 left.
We've got somebody who likes to tell you guys to like and subscribe on this channel a lot. But
Cooper Mace, who maybe we'll have if you hit like and subscribe. Are you talking about this guy right here? This guy? He's one of the top
here. Hit like and subscribe.
I think he is. So you should hit like and subscribe. I'm interested to see if he can top Nico even. We'll see. But now, James Pearce. How good can James Pearce be? He's number 3 on our countdown of the top balls heading into summer camp. How good can James Pearce be?
Well, PFF has him as the number 1 2025 NFL draft prospect.
Pretty good.
This dude can be amazing. Talent-wise, at his position, nobody's better than James Pearce talent-wise at his position. Maybe in college football. Now, why do I have him number 3? James Pearce almost shouldn't be that high because of how loaded Tennessee is at defensive end, Dave. So for James Pearce to be that high is just a testament to how good of an edge rusher he is. Because, quite honestly, David Hobbs, Joshua Joseph, Shandavian Bradley, Jordan Ross. Tennessee's been loading up on edge rushers where they're going to have options if something happens to James Pearce. But James Pearce is so freakishly good that they won't have James Pearce even if they'll have good players. I'm trying to think of another situation like this. You can tell me when you were covering the 90s and the 2000s teams where they had good players at a position, but the starter was just so freakishly generationally good that he still was that crucial to the team.
Gosh, I think there were probably four defensive tackles behind Albert Haynesworth and John Henderson that I thought could play. I'm wanting to say Rashad Moore was in that group.
Yeah,
I'm a little
Rashad
before
Moore, Amari Hand.
Amari Hand, who I refer to all the time as a part of the team instead of Amari Thomas.
Andre Dickerson was on that team.
Yeah. I mean, yes, there are guys there. I don't know if they would have been all SEC players, but had they had the playing time, Andre Dickerson is one you mentioned in particular, that had he had the playing time and not, he just didn't handle not having playing time well.
Well, this is.
If he had that, I think he could have been a good player is what I'm trying to tell you, which furthers your point.
Yeah, and even sticking with edge rusher and defensive end for a minute, let's just go here. There was, because he moved Leonard Little to middle linebacker through the first 2 downs of every drive in 97, they would put Jonathan Brown at defensive end. Jonathan Brown became an all-SEC defensive end. That still wasn't what Leonard Little could have done had he stayed at defensive end the whole time.
That's true. Folks, if you're in the Chattanooga area and ever need insurance, Don Self will take care of you, donself.net. Even if he's not the best fit for you, he'll make sure you get to the right person, donself.net. State Farm's the way to go because of the customer service. Those claims get responded to, get answered, get taken care of quickly. 423-396-2126, 423-396-2126. Go to donself.net. That's donself.net. And know that shopping for prices is important, but those claims are more important. Support our sponsors. That's why we're here. You can find the link right down below. You want to play 4 Downs? Brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. How does that work for you there, Caleb?
Sounds good. Are we jumping in the hot tub with James Pearce?
Jumping in the hot tub with a lot of people. Here we go.
4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Spas, the most comfortable spas made in the United States of America, right here in East Tennessee. Drop in for the all-new showroom in Athens. Dynasty Spas, perfect for all 4 seasons. 4 Downs, presented by Off the Hook Sports.
Coop, who will be either number 1 or number 2 in our countdown, which will reveal the remainder of that this week, says
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thanks, Coop. Appreciate that.
Coop here. First down.
First team All SEC preseason, James Pearce, yay, nay.
Yes, he'd better be.
Okay. If not, I mean, I'm curious if we're seeing the upside of him, if the rest of the conference is seeing the upside of him. I could see the media. This is why I brought this up. I could see the media screwing this up, to be real honest with you, at Media Days, which we'll be at in Dallas in July.
No, they're not screwing up James Pearce. James Pearce is being projected the number one, not a first-round draft pick, the number one draft pick for 2025 across a ton of outlets. He was all SEC last year. James Pearce, I think he was all SEC. Let me double check that actually, but I'm pretty sure.
See, I don't know that he was. I think he flew under the radar last year until the season started.
He did fly under the radar, but I still think that maybe he wasn't all SEC. I think I got that wrong. I apologize. But still, if you read every single media outlet, every single draft 2025 mock draft, everybody has James Pearce going number one. Media is not going to miss out on this one. It's too easy. He's out in everybody's face. James Pearce is an obvious. He's going to be preseason first team All SEC. He's going to be postseason first team All SEC. He's going to be preseason first team All American and postseason first team All American.
Well, he's guaranteed of that because he was 2023 All SEC first team last year. So he's going to be first team headed into this season. I wasn't sure he got the love last year. I'm glad to see that. He was also the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. What down is next, Coop?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right. How many sacks will James Pearce Jr. have? Excuse me.
All right, so we had 9.5 last year. The edge rushers are better this year. The defensive tackles are all back. And I think here's what's going to be key. The middle linebacker play is going to be better. And by the way, quality middle linebacker play has a lot to do with edge rushers being able to get sacks, doesn't it, Dave?
It does. It absolutely does.
So I think James Pearce he's going for 13 sacks this year.
I could see that. All right. What down, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Tackles for a loss. How many will he have? How many did he have last year? What can we expect out of Pearce on the ground?
So last year, pulling up tackles for a loss, I just want to be clear to make sure I get this right. But he had 14.5 tackles for a loss last year. I'm going 22. I'm going 22.
I was actually going to go 22 as well. That's very strange and very weird. Maybe we need to stop hanging out together every day, Caleb. Yeah, I was actually going to say 22, and I thought Caleb's going to think I'm crazy for saying 22 because that's way too many. All right, what down, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
All right. How many pressures? Is that doable? Because that's really where his impact will be felt. It's not going to be on the 12 sacks. It's not going to be necessarily on the 22 tackles for a loss. Those can be monstrous plays, but it's the constant pressure that you're able to feel. I don't know how many quarterback pressures he had last year, but those are impacting games. Caleb, can you tell me that? And let's do an over-under what he'll have this year.
Yes. So last year, James Pearce had 53 pressures and a 21.3% pressure rate on
that is insane. That is literally insane. I've never heard that number before used. That is getting to the quarterback 1 out of every 4 downs. And think about, I've never heard that stat before. And think about that for just a second. Some of them are running downs.
Yeah, you are right.
So you're basically getting to the passer 50% of the time is what you're telling me. That's I'm literally, no exaggeration, stunned.
I think it's going to be significantly higher this year because, and here's the point, Tennessee is going to be forcing teams in a lot more passing situations this year because of the fact that Nico and their offense is going to get them more leads. I think you could be seeing like 70 pressures from James Pearce and a 30% rate this year.
If you like 25% pressuring the quarterback on every single play, including factoring running plays, hit the like button. You ought to like right now because man, James Pearce is really good. What down, Coop? By the way, a new edition of the Vol Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning coming out today.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
And that'll be with Cooper Mays. Tennessee's second best defensive end is.
Ooh, now you're really throwing a curveball at me, Dave.
See, I got you on that one. You would have said Tyler Barron, or would you?
Okay, so there's a lot of, if I'm going recruiting, I would say somebody like Jordan Ross, but I do think experience can matter in this system to a certain degree. So I'm going to go Joshua Josephs. I think Joshua Josephs was filling in for Pearce a lot last year at different times to give him a break. And I actually think Joshua Josephs could be, I mean, he did have 4.5 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks last year in, reserve time. And so that's why I think James Pearce will be good. I think those two lining across from each other is going to be, what's the last combo in college football or even at Tennessee where you just saw 2 ends on either side and it didn't matter where you turned, you were in trouble?
Oh gosh, I guess didn't Sean Ellis and Leonard overlap by a year?
Yes, but that was when they were putting Jonathan Brown at defensive end and Sean Ellis on the other side.
Well, then it would be Brown and Ellis, right?
But they were barely playing Ellis that year, I think, in 97.
I'd
right?
be interested to know.
What about Sean Ellis and Corey Terry? How'd they work out together?
Pretty good. I could roll with that. The 3 most talented defensive linemen, I'm going to tell you who they are right now based off the people that I've talked to. One is Joseph's, and it's brought to you by the Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure you only receive the best in CBD or Delta products. Hemp House Chat with 2 T's.com. Hemp House Chat with 2 T's.com. Use the promo code HOOKED. That's HOOKED for 10% off. Go to the Hemp House Chat with 2 T's.com right down below. The 3 most talented players are Elijah Simmons, James Pearce, and Joshua Josephs. If those guys have great years, Tennessee, and I was thinking about this last night. If their offensive or defensive line is half as good as we believe it will be, Nico may be the second biggest story. You might get a little bit conservative, actually, and let your defense win some games. That wouldn't stun me. Is that crazy talk, Caleb?
Well, think about this for a minute. Okay, so you think Elijah Simmons is generational if the switch flips, right?
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy and if the switch flips, right?
A little bit of both, but I was kind of corrected on that, to be real honest with you. It's health. I like his attitude. I like his based off who I've talked to now.
But basically, we're saying generational potential on the level of John Henderson, Albert Haynesworth, Justin Harrell before he got hurt, Jesse Malone. Are we talking in that tier of All-American generational potential?
I won't go Henderson Haynesworth. I'll go 1 notch down with Mahalona and who's the other one you mentioned?
Justin Harrell before he got hurt.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll go 1 level down. You would agree they're 1 level down, right?
Yes, they're 1 level down. Although Justin Harrell might have been on that level if he played the whole 2006 season because he was really, really good. Okay, so here's where I'm thinking about that. So semi-generational in Elijah Simmons, generational in James Pearce. Do you think Joshua Josephs is generational or just an NFL guy that could be very, very good?
I think he has tremendous upside. We use the word generational too much. I was thinking the other day, so I'm not going to say that. But I think that it's hard to have 3 generational players in the same defensive line.
Okay,
but
here's the best comparison.
Okay.
Because I'm seeing it. Okay, because John Henderson and Haynesworth were both generational. They were both generational. Leonard Little was generational. Sean Ellis was NFL Pro Bowl style, right?
There you go. Okay. I will take Joseph's. I will rank them. Pearce, generational. Simmons, generational. And Joseph's, potentially Pro Bowl. I'm not ready to go all pro. There's a different designation there, as you know. I'm not ready to go all pro, but I will go Pro Bowl. And I think he's that good. So that's probably, I've had him higher rated than most out there.
I agree. Has Tennessee ever had 3 defensive linemen that are Pro Bowl caliber in the NFL? Ever? I know they've had 2 starting, Because, like, okay, you could say John Henderson and Sean Ellis in 99, but John Henderson that year wasn't Pro Bowl caliber, what he would become, right? He was still learning the system
Right.
a lot. Have they ever had 3 players that are at the level they need to be at that are NFL Pro Bowl caliber on the defensive line?
Derek, I know you think I'm crazy, brother, but I'm telling you, everybody I talk to, if the guy can stay healthy, I promise you. I know Derek posted again, and I generational would have been done broke out. I'm
Not
telling
true.
you, telling you it's the injuries. He's banged up. This guy can be really, really, really good.
And also to correct Derek on that, Darnell Wright didn't break out till his senior year, and he was generational. Reggie White didn't break out till his senior year, and he was generational.
It's a good point.